Man, I am sure glad that we have three branches of the federal government, and I'm really, really glad that two of those three totally are not being threatened by the other one, an executive that looks like a melted creamsicle. And look, as we've covered, the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs 6-3, and on cue, Trump goes ballistic. He called the Supreme Court justices ashamed, a disgrace, fools, and lapdogs, saying that they were swayed by foreign interests. And then the worst part, this clip right here.
But other alternatives will now be used to replace the ones that the court incorrectly rejected. We have alternatives, great alternatives. Could be more money. We'll take in more money, and we'll be a lot stronger for it. We're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. We'll continue to do so. To show you how ridiculous the opinion is, however, the court said that I'm not allowed to charge even $1. I can't charge $1. Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country-destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little two-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them anything. Think of that. How ridiculous is that? I'm allowed to embargo them. I'm allowed to tell them you can't do business in the United States anymore. We want you out of here. But if I want to charge them $10, I can't do that. It's incorrect. Their decision's incorrect. But it doesn't matter because we have very powerful alternatives that have been approved by this decision. You know, they've been approved by the decision for those that thought they had us.
Holy cow, that is not a sane or a healthy man, certainly not a man that should be running a country. Trump told reporters that he was trying to be a good boy by not going further with his tariff powers. Then the same day, he signed a 10% global tariff under a different statute, Section 122 of the Trade Act, as a workaround. Then, within hours, he ups it to 15%. So his response to the Supreme Court overruling him was immediately do the same thing, just in a different way, perhaps even in a worse way. That idea, as most of Trump's ideas do, comes from Project 2025. And Project 2025's foundational legal theory is the unitary executive. It holds that the president has total unchecked authority over every part of the executive branch. Not limited authority, not authority subject to congressional oversight or judicial review. Total authority. Their logic is the executive branch is the president. So anything the executive branch does, the president did. And the president cannot be checked by those other branches except through impeachment. They are crapping on the Constitution. And look, to the MAGA faithful, the quote, I can do anything I want to them, it's not a boast. That's their legal position. That's the administration telling you this is our policy. They actually believe this crap. The issue for them is not philosophy. The issue is trying to keep the courts from disagreeing. And look, do me a favor real quick, drop a comment below. I want to know, what do you think? Will this unitary executive become the new norm after he's gone, after Trump's gone? I genuinely want to know what your opinion on that is. And then be sure to subscribe to follow every one of the court rulings that are pushing back against this insane old man. But of course, Trump didn't stop there. His tirade kept going. Like I said, he called the justices lapdogs and fools, including two of his own appointees that voted against his tariffs, Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch. His other appointee, Brett Kavanaugh, was more worried about how messy it would be to refund the money. Give me a break. There's a little bit of poetry to this because He spent his first term telling conservatives that the courts were the whole game. Nominate the right judges and justices, win forever. Now, the judges he nominated are ruling against him, and his response is to call them foreign agents and lapdogs. And look, this happens every day in the Trump regime. Every institution that doesn't do what he wants immediately gets called corrupt, compromised, or an enemy. The FBI was corrupt until he ran it. The Supreme Court was sacred until they ruled against him. The economy was broken until he took credit for it. Then it was broken again when the numbers came in bad. What makes this dangerous isn't the tariffs themselves. Those are bad. But what's dangerous is that the person that is running our country, running the executive branch, has publicly stated that he believes he can do anything he wants and that he's only restraining himself as a courtesy.
Doesn't it seem like our feeds are getting filled with more and more BS right-wing MAGA content? It's no secret that all these top tech bros are in love with the current regime, so it's no surprise that independent left-leaning media is being squashed by the algorithm. If you like our content and content like us, it doesn't take long to click that thumbs up, share, comment, or subscribe. So please help us keep the truth alive.